Ever sit down to work and then like 30 minutes later, you look up and you realize you've been watching cat videos or like silly TikToks for the past 30 minutes, but then you look at your to-do list and it's still full. Yeah, we've all been there. I have been there myself. I 100% struggle with staying focused and avoiding distractions. You know, we have Netflix, we have our phones constantly notifying us. We have Slack, we have Teams, we have Zoom, we have Discord, we have email, we have collaborating spreadsheets and documents, and this business saying we need this business saying we need this. Oh, some stupid mailing list for some dumb course. Huh? You know, we've got a bunch of books we've got to read as well. How are we supposed to? And then we've got podcasts, and then we've got music, and then honestly, the world is full of distractions. And in 2024, you know, the list is new. I mean, your phone alone probably has hundreds of little bing, bing, red dots, whatever, that will distract you every single day. And they're designed to do this. It is absolutely designed for these dopamine hits to take your attention towards advertising, right? To spend time on these platforms, including one that you're watching me on or listening to me on right now. Now, I'm going to give you some actionable tips that actually work. And you know what? I'll probably throw in 1 or 2 book recommendations as well that have really helped me. Now, obviously, depending on what business you're in, you know, your work, you know, your day-to-day work may be more scattered. You may not be deep working like a professor can who's working on, you know, another thesis or something like that. You might be, well, I'm a project manager. We've got 4 projects on, 4 different people, 4 different sites. You know, I get pinged from everywhere all the time, and you know, totally appreciate that. And I think things like that are a lot harder to stay focused in versus, oh, I'm a graphic designer and I've got to design 4 things today. You know, they're different, right? But the first thing you have to do is recognize your triggers. And this is really hard because the triggers are almost so well designed that you don't realize that they're happening or when they're happening. And sometimes you don't realize what the trigger is. You know, you like I said, you're there, about to do a task, 30 minutes later, you come up to breathe, and like, what? And so aiming to try and recognize your trigger, whether it's, you know, I'm doing some work, I saw an Instagram notification, that led me to Instagram, I then started scrolling, I then started looking at food, and then time's gone. Or every time I get a phone call, I then end up going on TikTok because the phone's in my hand. Or every time I need to use my phone for a business reason, I go there with the thing of check bank account for this transaction. But I go on it, 4 notifications, WhatsApp, this. So understanding these triggers is so important, and identifying them is not easy. You know, it could be emails. It could be you've got 4 different emails open at the same time. Well, why don't you do this? Every 2 hours, that works for your business, you check all 4 emails. Otherwise, they're not on your Google Chrome tab. They're not on your phone, nothing. So for those breaks, you have no emails. You know, if someone really, really needs to get hold of you urgently, they'll call you or they'll text you. Right? Agreed? Something like that, actually. Well, there's your first actionable tip. Something like that, having that detox from emails, for example, helps massively. I know when I have my emails on screen, I've got 1 account, it says 2 in brackets, 1 account, 3, oh my God, all these things through. Even just seeing it in the corner of your eye is annoying and is distracting. And that's really not what you need, right, in order for you to focus effectively. So there's your first little action tip, a lot earlier than I thought I'd be giving it to you, but there we go. Another thing you need to do is create focus zones. What's a focus zone? Now, creating a distraction-free workplace will boost productivity. Now, that depends on the chair you're sitting on, the way your screen's set up, using certain apps and certain, you know, things that can block notifications, turning notifications off, having your phone upside down, which I think works for Android phones or Pixel phones, puts them into Do Not Disturb. Like having these zones, these physical zones, but also, you know, potentially structural zones in your diary, perhaps areas of an office that are for chilling. So I have a chair here, green chair, that is for meditation and kind of chilling and reading or whatever. This main office chair here, very ergonomic chair. I've had it for like 5, 6, I've had it for 8, 9 years, incredible. this is my work zone. When I'm here, I aim not to be on phone socializing. If I do, I actually even push my chair back just to be like, listen, I'm physically out of this zone. When I'm here, it needs to be full focus. And I'm here, there's an exception, and if I'm over there, that is built for that zone. So, I mean, look, I have the luxury of having quite a big office. You know, aiming to do that, I think will really, really help. Now, you know, things like noise cancelling headphones. I have these Sony WXM3s. I think they're on the 4 or 5s now. Year after year, reviews for the best headphones in just, best headphones. I've even got some smaller ones. Sony WXM4, again, incredible. Having something like that can block out. It can always give you the feeling of being blocked out. So it's not necessarily that you have noise distracting you. You might, but it's also just, as soon as it's almost creating these rituals. Right, when my headphones go on, no one chat to me. I'm not taking any calls. I am doing these designs that I need to do. I am doing this admin. Headphones on, and when you leave the office or you want to take a quick break for something, headphones off. You know, so it's almost like you put on that cape as a superhero. That turns you into the superhero. Well, your underwear, you've got you on the outside of your trousers. Weird. Like Superman. Hold tight, Henry Cavill and all that. But it puts you in the zone, you understand? Just like this room is my zone, the headphone is a zone within the zone, right? You know, there's apps like, I think, Forest and Freedom, I think they're called, which can block distractions. The next thing you can do, and this kind of relates to focus zones, is time blocking or calendar blocking. We have a to-do list, and that's fine. But tasks often fill the time that you give them. Oh, I've given myself 3 hours to do an admin task. Yeah, but couldn't you do it in like an hour if you were just more efficient with your time? Maybe you could, maybe you can't, I don't know. But putting in your diary for an hour and blocking that time out as admin task 3, your body will see that, your mind will see that and know, oh, it's 9:30. I've got an hour of doing this. Boom. It's almost like gamifying or tricking your mind into saying, well, that's in the diary. That's clearly the schedule, right, guys? Like, so let's do it. And you also feel a bit bad when it's in the diary, in the schedule, and you're like, I don't need to do, yeah. You're like, oh, it's in there, I have to do it. It almost drives you to do that. And also, I think you can break it into chunks of deep work and shallow work. So you can say, here I'm doing this, writing this long piece, and here I'm flicking between emails, I'm uploading stuff to social media, I'm checking in on the team on Slack. Shallow versus deep work. So having that differentiation is also another tip for you, but doing that in your time blocks, it can also stop you feeling overwhelmed, because you got a to-do list and you've got a day, or whatever, you're going to do them in your time frame. And like I said, every task will just fill the capacity you give it, but also you look at that and think, how's that getting done? Like, where does that slot in? And then what about the other bits of shallow, random stuff to come? What about the responsive stuff? What about if I get a phone call? It's like, it can overwhelm you. Like, how is this going to get done in one day? But when it's blocked out, well, okay, 9 to 10 is this, 10 to 11 is this, break, this is this. That's my to-do list done, And then you've got time to not have your emails open during the deep work. Have your phone on Do Not Disturb to ensure that they are actually deep work. Those tasks get done. And then you look at your to-do list at the end of the day and you can see that stuff's been done. And you don't have that feeling of overwhelm, because in advance, okay, the list is getting done today, for any unforeseen circumstances, it's going to happen. The next thing for me is a digital detox. Sometimes we have like 100 tabs. You people, who have like 100 tabs open at the same time and they're so small, like, come on now. You're not using 80% of those tabs. You're not a bad man for having loads of tabs open. It's distracting, so distracting. It looks really irritating, and you can't find a single fucking thing. I have like 3, 4, 5 tabs, maybe max. I know exactly what's on every tab, and I'm using it. So, and if I'm deep working, I open a new window and put stuff in there. Like for these videos, I have a tracker, a 30 in 30 days content tracker. In fact, let me show it to you. Something like this. And yeah, this tab itself has three tabs on it. One is a spreadsheet, one is my bullet points, and the other is a YouTube link to Culture FM, Amapiano Mix 2024. For when I'm doing the admin for this. And so by detoxing your brain, not having that many tabs open, opening new windows for new tasks, putting different colors on tabs and windows, things like that. But also just not using your phone for anything, you know? It helps when you have creative or deep tasks where you can kind of say, actually, put everything away, everyone shut up for 1 hour, 2 hours, for a morning. I'm not involved, I'm not looking at you, I don't want to know, I'm good, right? That can really help. And I think it just also helps your body just be more human, you know, and not be surrounded by screens and things trying to vie for your attention and advertise to you and sell to you, you know. I think it just helps having that. One of my favorite techniques actually is the Pomodoro technique. If you haven't heard of it, Pomodoro means tomato in Italiano. So Google it, there's a timer there. It's like a 20-minute time, or a 25-minute timer, and then 5 minutes of like rest. Something about this timer makes you focus. It almost makes you compete with it, because you say, okay, 25 minutes to get it done. Okay. Now look, some tasks are going to be 10, 25-minute chunks, right, over a period. Some will get done straight in them. But it focuses your mind to say, well, there's a timer counting down. Shouldn't rush you, you know, get done properly. But I got 25 minutes. Yeah, 25 minutes to go to get this stuff done. Ain't no one going to come and save me. No one's going to keep me on track, but that timer is ticking down. Let me get started. Or something about it. The simplicity of it, and you think about a physical one as well, like a Pomodoro. The simplicity of it just makes you compete with it. It just makes you want to get it done in that time. And that 5-minute rest, stop. You have to have discipline with this. You can't just say, oh, I can finish it in 2 minutes. No, stop, right? It's designed like that for a reason. It just refreshes your mind. Next thing is, and we are so guilty as this as entrepreneurs, and a lot of us are people pleasers. I'm not, I don't give a shit, I'm going to please you. A lot of people are though. Say no to things, but say it without feeling guilty. It's not selfish to say no. It can be. You know, old lady says, can you carry my bags across the street? And you say no. I'm you know, trying not to be guilty and say no to things out of my schedule. It's a bit problematic, I think. I think it's quite rude, actually. So it's not selfish to say no, it's smart. Because you value your time, right? You ain't getting any more time, you ain't getting more money. I'm not saying become a workaholic, become a lazy-aholic. You know, it's all in balance and all in moderation. But you need to be able to say no to certain meetings that are just dumb, corporate, unnecessary. No to social gatherings that you aren't going to enjoy or don't want to be at, or aren't going to get any enjoyment or satisfaction from. You know, you saying no without feeling guilty is very tough. You know, especially when, oh man, we love when you're there, so much fun. Oh, come on, what are you doing? If you want to go, then go. Like, I don't need to hear this hormozy, you know, I say no to everything because I love working out, so boring. No, like, if I want to party because I love partying, I'm going to go. I'm not saying no because of some other... I don't, like, live to work. I work to live. And you might be the other way around, and that's fine. Like, I ain't judging, you know. Tupac said only God can judge me. I think also practicing mindfulness, you know. Not necessarily meditation or prayer or whatever, but almost resetting your focus, almost grounding yourself in, okay, I've got all these tasks, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Let me take 1 minute to do square breathing. Let me take 1 minute to do some focused inhales, exhales, feel my hands on the chair, feel my feet on the floor, and just get myself back in that zone, you know? Maybe out of your work environment. Come back in, refreshed. Go for a walk, feel your feet on the floor, be mindful, be present, don't listen to a podcast, just walk. That for me is almost like a bit of a cheat code of like, how can I reset myself? Is breathing. Breathing is so powerful. Like there's so many podcasts on breathing, like, but learning like just basic breathwork, which is probably on YouTube, probably with Wim Hof, you know, the Iceman guy. I haven't heard from him in ages. Hopefully he's not in an ice school or in carbon, like, who did they freeze in? Han Solo, that was it. In Star Wars, they froze him in carbonite. I love Star Wars. So, getting that breathing techniques and using that to center yourself when you feel distracted is almost a way to... So everything I've said so far is about like how to increase productivity kind of before, after, and sometimes during the kind of what you're doing. But the breathing is almost a way to pull you out of it, chill, focus, recenter, and then put you back into it. So it can almost, at 1 p.m. when you're like, oh shit, I got so much to do, I'm time blocking in Pomodoro, but I still, you know, you can kind of get rid of that with breathing. So look people, for me, those are some techniques, some actual techniques that I use daily, that lots of high quality entrepreneurs, a lot of my mentees, I talk to them about it, I encourage them to use them, I force them to use them sometimes. And they work, like they genuinely work. So try them out. I'm not saying they're all going to work for you. I'm not saying, but try them out, implement them into your schedule. And I promise you, like the time blocking, the Pomodoro technique, practicing breathing, saying no, the detox, right? Creating focus zones and recognizing your triggers as that first step, to summarize, are honestly going to be so helpful for you. And there's a really good book. I've only read a little bit of it yet, but it's called Indistractable by Nir Eyal. He actually also worked on the apps and the technology that made us hooked on our phones. And then he said, that's a bit stupid actually, that's not good. I'm gonna make a book about being indistractable. So there's one book for you. And let me give you a second one. Cal Newport, Slow Productivity. You know what, while I'm here, third one. Cal Newport, somewhere in here. It's called Deep Work. Super book. So you got Indistractable by Nir Eyal, Cal Newport, Slow Productivity, and Cal Newport. Such an American name, isn't it? Cal Newport. Deep Work. People, if you like that, make sure you leave a review on Spotify, hit subscribe, leave a comment. Honestly, you just writing great video, dude, or like, hey, you look stupid, or iron your shirt, whatever. I was wearing a vest before. I don't think you want to see me in the vest. Really helps, right? The algorithm, my AI overlords, they love it. So, take some time out of your day, people. Bye.